In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this cute striped jute basket with different colors. And you can see here I have natural colored jute, and I also found jute that had colors. They dyed the jute different colors, and I used green and yellow, blue and red, and of course the natural jute. And I created these beautiful stripes, and I think it looks really, really nice. I love the way it came out, and I hope that you will join me in this tutorial today, and I will show you how to make it. Okay, so to make the basket, we're going to need some jute twine. This is the natural color jute twine. And then these are colored jute twine. I purchased this from Amazon, and they come with different colors. And the brand was in this plastic bag. There was 10 rolls of the colored natural jute twine. It was in assorted colors. And I guess, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Hulisen, H-U-L-I-S-E-N was the brand name. And that's the item number. This is the bag that it came in. And it actually had several colors. And they come individually wrapped in plastic. So this one has blue, green, red, and yellow. There was 2 shades of pink in there. One was orange, and this is purple, and then this is a natural colored jute twine. So they're just little small individual balls of jute twine, or rolls of jute twine, and I'm going to be using these 4 colors to make our striped jute basket today. So you'll need natural and some colored jute. I'm going to use 4 different colors, and I'm going to use a size J or 10 6mm crochet hook to make our little basket. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to start off with the jute twine that's a natural color. So I'm going to move these off to the side right now. So let's go ahead and begin. And you want to start off with a magic circle. Okay. So let's go ahead and do 6 single crochets into the center of the magic ring. Five and 6. Okay, so I'm going to pull that to close that up, close that center circle. And then I am going to join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet that we did when we began the round. And then join with a slip stitch here. And then I'm going to do 2 single crochets into every single stitch around. So chain 1 and do 2 single crochets into this first stitch. And you can definitely put a stitch marker in here. So let me get that. Okay, so that was 2 single crochets into that same stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 into the next one. So 2 single crochets in every single stitch until we get to that stitch marker. And when we're done with this round, we will have 12 single crochets. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and double check to make sure I have 12 single crochets before I begin the next round. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet that we did. Okay, and then chain 1, and then do a single crochet right back into that same stitch. Let me go ahead and take my stitch marker out. And then I'm going to insert it into that first stitch that we just did for the second round. Okay, so in the that was 1 single crochet into that first stitch. So now we're going to do 2 single crochets into the next one, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 2 single crochets into the next one. So we're alternating. We're doing 1 stitch, then 2, 1, then 2, and we're going to do that all the way around. And at the end of this round, we will have 18 stitches. Okay, so we just did 2, so the next one is 1 single crochet. Next one is 2, and then 1, 2, and then 1. Next one will have 2, 1, and this one will have 2. So we should have 18 single crochets. So let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch to that very first stitch. Okay, so now go ahead and chain 1 and do a single crochet right back into that same stitch. I'm going to put the stitch marker back in. Alright, so now the next stitch will have 1 single crochet. So that was 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches. Next one will have 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Next 2 stitches will have 1 single crochet in each. Okay, so the next one will have 2 single crochets. Next stitch, 1 single crochet, and then the next one, 1 single crochet. Then 2 single crochets into the next one, and then 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. That was 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and the next stitch will have 2 single crochets. Next stitch will have 1. Next one, just 1 single crochet, and then this one here will have 2. So that was, you can see the pattern. It was basically first 2 had 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets, and we did that all the way around. Okay, so now for this round, we're going to join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet that we did. Okay, so for this round, chain 1, single crochet right back into that same stitch. Go ahead and put your stitch marker back in. Okay, so this one will have 1. And then the next stitch will have 1. So that was the first 3 stitches had 1 single crochet each. The next one will have 2 single crochets into the same stitch. The next 3 stitches will have 1 single crochet each. Okay, so that was 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'm sure you can guess the next stitch will have 2 single crochets. And we're going to do that all the way around. So that's 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Next one will have 2, and then 1 single crochet into the next 3. Okay, and then the next stitch will have 2 single crochets. Next 3 stitches, 1 single crochet each. And then this stitch here will have 2 single crochets. So now let's go ahead and join with a slip stitch to that first one that we did. In this round we should have 30 stitches. Let me go ahead and count. Perfect, we have 30. All right. So now we are going to do one more round with the natural jute twine, and then we'll start building the sides of our basket. So they'll start to, we won't increase anymore after this. There's one more round of increasing, and then we won't increase anymore. So that will bring these sides up for our basket. Okay, so chain 1, and do a single crochet right back into that same stitch, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the next one, single crochet in this one, and the next one will have a single crochet. So the first 4 stitches had 1 single crochet each. I put my stitch marker into that very first one that we did. So the first 4 stitches had 1 single crochet each. The next one will have 2 single crochets, and then the next stitch you're going to do a single crochet. So the next 4 stitches, 1 single crochet each. 2, 3rd stitch, 4th stitch. All right. And then the next stitch will have 2 single crochets. And then the next 4 stitches will have 1 single crochet each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next stitch will have 2 single crochets. And then the next 4 stitches will have 1 single crochet each. 3, 4th stitch. All right. And then the next stitch will have 2 single crochets. And then the next one will have 1. Next one, 1. Next one, just 1. And 1. Okay, so that was 1 single crochet into those 4 stitches. And then 2 single crochets into the next one. And this is going to be the last round that we're going to do the increases in. Okay, so the next 4 stitches will have 1 single crochet each. 2, 3, 4. Next stitch will have 2 single crochets. Now we're going to join with a slip stitch to that first one that we did when we began the round. Alright, there we go. Okay, so this round should have 36 stitches. And it kind of looks more like a hexagon right now than it does a circle. But as we do the sides of the basket, it will round out. So let me go ahead and count my stitches. $30, $31, $32, $33, $34, $35, $36. Perfect. That's what we wanted to have. 36 stitches. Okay, so now we are going to start the walls of our basket, the sides. So we are not going to increase any longer. So what we're going to do is, you see the V stitches here. We're going to work into that back loop only, leaving that front one unworked. So insert your hook into that back loop of the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then do a single crochet. Now let's go ahead and put our stitch marker in so we know where we began. And then the same thing, next one, back loop only, and just do a single crochet. 1 single crochet into every single stitch around until we get back to the stitch marker, and we're going to work only in the back loops of each stitch. And we're going to do that all the way around, only in the back loops only. And of course we had 36 stitches to begin with, and since we're not increasing, when we're done with this round we'll have 36 single crochets as well. Oops. Okay, let me keep working all the way around, working in the back loops. I'm going to keep going until I get to that stitch marker. Okay, I'm almost there. Just a couple more stitches. Okay, so now I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and we are going to be switching to a new color. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this right now. And then I'm going to choose my next color. I'm going to go with the green. Can't find the beginning. There it is. Oh, how nice. This is, it actually is a pull skein. It's actually like a pull skein. I love that. It pulls right out of the middle. How convenient is that? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my hook into that next stitch. Okay. And I'm just going to yarn over like that. Pull that through. And then yarn, or two, I can't say yarn over, so I'll say jute over. Pull that through. And then I'm going to take those two tails there and tie them together. Alright, so now let's go ahead, and we're not going to do like a chain one and continue around because we don't want to see that like big jump. So we're just going to just work in the round without, we're not going to do a chain one and then do it. We're just going to continue to work around. So now we're going to work in the back loops only. We'll do a single crochet in every stitch. So one single crochet into every single stitch, working in the back loops only. How pretty is that? I mean, I think stripes look really nice. I really like things with stripes. So this basket's going to be adorable with all the different colored stripes. And this is just one single crochet into every single stitch. So when we're done with this one, we should have 36 single crochets. We're just going to keep going all the way around. And as you can see, it's going to start curving up, so that way the walls will start to build. Okay, so let's keep going around with the green. I really like this jute because sometimes you get jute and it's really rough. This actually is not. It's kind of soft. It's really, I mean, as soft as jute can be, but it's really nice texture. I also got this on Amazon as well as these, and they have a nice texture. They're not like that really rough jute, you know, that you would use in the garden. It's more, it's a nicer grade of jute, if you will. I guess it's for crafting purposes. It's really nice. Okay, and that's where we did that color transition, so I'm just going to do like a slip stitch into that. So that way you don't really see that jut out too much. Looks really good. Okay, so now we're ready to change colors. Back to the natural jute, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I'm just going to okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start with the natural color jute again. So I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch right here. Wrap that around. And just pull it through. And then slip that through right there. And then I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of the very next stitch and do my single crochet. So I'm just going to pull those tails there to tighten them down. Make sure they're not too loose. And then I'm just going to give it a little tie here. And we'll weave those in afterwards. Actually going to give it twice. I'm going to tie it twice just to make sure it doesn't unravel. That one I'm going to do a second time. Okay, so now we're just going to continue around with the natural jute, working in the back loops only. So pretty, look at that. You can see that stripe kind of pop out there. Looks really pretty. Okay, I'm just working all the way around once again in only the back loops. I'm just going to work in the back loops only. And as you can see, it's really starting to curve up now, like a bowl shape or basket shape. And that's because we're not increasing anymore. So once you stop the increases, that's when your walls of your basket will start to form and curve up. Okay, we're almost done with this round, working in just the back loops. Okay, and I'm going to do a slip stitch right into that one there. Alright, so now I'm ready to begin with another color. So let's see, let's go with the yellow next. That'll look really good. Okay, and that one's a pull skein right out the middle. I like that. That makes it nice and convenient. That way it won't roll onto the floor, stays put. That's real nice. Alright, so I'm going to insert my hook into the very next loop, the back loop of that next stitch. I'm going to go ahead and just lay that yarn right over the yellow, pull it through, and then I'm going to slip it right through that natural jute twine, that loop there, and then I'm going to give it a tug here to tighten it down so it's not too loose, and then find the natural one. There it is. And I'm going to tie those two together, give it a couple of knots so it won't come unraveled. Okay, so now insert your hook into the back loop of the next stitch. Actually, right into the stitch, actually, because we don't want to. Okay, so now that we're going to go ahead and insert the hook. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, so we're going to insert the hook into the back loop, pull up a loop, and do our single crochet. We're going to do that all the way around. Single crochet, working into the back loops only. By putting the natural jute in between, it makes those colors really pop. I think it looks really pretty. Okay, so we're just going to continue working all the way around with the yellow jute. And you can attach your colors any way that you like to do, whatever works best for you. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and insert that into there. Alright, so now I'm going to cut off the yellow. And now we're ready to go ahead and add another round of the natural jute twine. Okay, and like I said, you can do the color transitions any way you want. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and add the jute twine. I mean, you can do it like this too. You can actually just tie it first while your hook's still in the same color there that we just cut. So, I mean, there's many options. Whatever way you like to join your colors, it's fine. So we're going to go ahead and give it a couple knots. I'm going to do it like that. And we're going to weave these in along the sides afterwards, so you won't see those anymore. So if you want, you can do it like this, and then you can do the single crochet, do this chain one, and then do a single crochet right back into the same one if you want to do it like that. That works too. So we're going to go ahead and just do that all the way around, working in the back loops only. And I just worked in both loops by mistake there. So let me make sure I get the back loop only. Okay, so we're going to work into the back loops only, doing a single crochet all the way around. So just one single crochet into every single stitch, working in the back loops only. So we're just going to do that all the way around. See, I would have thought that this one had a center pull too, just like those small ones, but I don't see a center pull into this big one. That's too bad. I would think there is. Maybe I did that wrong. Yeah, I don't see a center pull, so I'm thinking there is not. Okay. I'm just going to continue around the natural colored jute. Okay, we're almost done with this round, so we're going to be ready to switch to a third color pretty soon. Okay, and then slip stitch into that one. Alright, so I'm just going to do it like that, so you can just slip stitch when you get back to that one. So you can see by doing that, you really don't have, it really looks kind of nice and even, really. Kind of still looks kind of a straight line. You don't really see the transition too badly. So that looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And then we're going to tie on a new color. So with the jute, I'm just going to go ahead and tie the new color on, because I don't want it to unravel. So let's go ahead and do another color. So let's see, we can go with the blue next or the red. I think I'm going to go with the blue. And this one has a center pull. Wait a minute. This one does not have the center pull. How interesting. I wonder why that one doesn't have it, unless I just can't find the right end. Well, I can't find the center pull. Well, it looks like, for whatever reason, this one doesn't have the center pull, but that's okay. Okay, so as you can see, looking at the table surface here, you can see that there's little fibers here and little debris that's coming off of the jute twine. And that's perfectly normal, because jute twine, it's a natural plant-based product, so you're going to have those little loose fibers there. So let me just go ahead and move those out of the way. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tie on the new color. I'm going to leave my loop there, my hook there. so it doesn't, because if I take it out it might make it too tight, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I leave that in. And then I'm going to tie on the blue color now. I'm going to give it 2 knots just to make sure it's not going anywhere. Alright, now go ahead and insert it into the very back loop of the next stitch. And you can do it this way too. You can just do a jute over, pull that through, yarn over, and there's your single crochet. And let's do a single crochet in every stitch, working in the back loops only. Okay, I'm just going to keep working around, working in the back loops. Okay, we're almost done with this round. Okay, I'm just going to do a slip stitch here to that next stitch. Okay, so we're done with the blue round now. And you can see that the sides of our basket are starting to form, and how cute is that? That looks so pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on another round of the natural jute twine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this here with the blue. And then I'm going to tie on the jute twine again, the natural color. Okay, one knot. I'm going to tie it again for the second time. Make sure it's nice and secure. Okay. And we're going to weave all these tails in along the sides of the basket when we're done. Okay, so I have my natural jute twine on. So you can either just, insert it into the next stitch, do a jute over, and pull it through and do your single crochet like that. Or if you prefer, you can insert your hook, pull that through, and then do a slip stitch. So that way you're ready to begin the next color. So that way you won't have a stitch that has half the stitch will have the jute twine and half will have the the natural color and half will have the blue if you do not do it that way. So I do it like a slip stitch. Then you can do a chain one, and you can do it like that and do a single crochet into the back loops only, the natural color, and do that all the way around. So you can see by working in the back loops only how you get that nice ridge there along the sides, and that gives it a nice ridge, kind of makes it look more like a woven basket. So I really like the way that looks. Okay, so we're just going to continue all the way around. I wish this did have a center pole. Oh, guess what? It does have a center pole. See, I thought it would have to have one. That makes more sense. Well, I'll use the center pole the next round. I knew it had to have a center pole. I knew I'd find it, and I did. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep working around with the natural jute twine. So now I like this even better because it has a center pole. I think that is great. So I'll definitely have to remember where I got this and get it again. Well, I know I got it at Amazon. Hopefully they continue to carry it. Because, I mean, it's such a large spool of it. I really like it. Okay, so I'm just going to keep working all the way around. Well, the next time I use this, I'm definitely using that center pole. Now that I know it has one. And I thought it must have it because, I mean, the small ones did. Well, now I know it has it. Okay, so we're almost done with this round. Okay. And then slip stitch into that one, the back loop. And that completes that. So even, see, when you do that, it really doesn't show the transition very badly on that side. Of course, if it does show it really bad on yours, you could just make sure that when you put it on the table that that one's facing like the wall. So the pretty side's out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that jute twine there. And I'm just going to wind that around there since I know it has a center pole. Okay, so there we go. And then now the last round is going to be with the red. And that's going to be the edging. So now I'm going to tie on the red one. And that one does have a center pole. Okay, good. Tie it twice there. Okay. And for this I like to do the transition this way. I'm going to show you again. Insert your hook into the back loop of that one. Pull that loop through. And pull it through that loop that's the natural colored one. Oh, let me put that loop back on there, sneaking away. Just trying to sneak away. Alright, there we go. And then pull that through. There we go. So now, go ahead and chain one. And then we're going to do a single crochet in every single stitch around, working in the back loops only. How pretty is that? That looks so pretty. Okay, so we're almost done with the red. We're actually going to do a second round with the red because we need to make the top edge here a little sturdy. So we're going to continue all the way around in the back loops until we get to that first one. And then I'll show you what we're going to do for the final round. Okay, so we're just going to keep working with our single crochets, working in the back loops only. Okay, it's the last one here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into that one. Okay, so we have finished our last round with the colored jute. So we have 4 different colors plus the natural. So that's the green, we did yellow, blue, and red. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip stitch into every single stitch around. So insert your hook into the stitch, both loops, and then do a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the next one underneath both loops, pull a loop through, and do a slip stitch. Both loops, insert your hook underneath both loops of the red, pull that through, and do a slip stitch. And do that all the way around and do a slip stitch. Insert your hook under both loops, do a slip stitch. So we're going to do that all the way around. You can see how it gives it a nice little edge here. Okay. Okay, so just working all the way around, doing slip stitches. Just gives it a nice finished look. See how it does that? Where the side doesn't have the slip stitches. Plus it strengthens it. See how it wants to curve in, and this helps straighten it out. So you definitely want to do the slip stitches. Insert under both loops and do a slip stitch. Okay, we're almost done. It's so cute. Remember, I'm working under both loops this time for this final round and doing a slip stitch in every single stitch. We're almost done. Okay, so we're back all the way around, and there we have our cute little round basket. We just have to shape it a little bit here, flatten the bottom. Now, if you find that your jute twine is not very sturdy or thick, you can definitely make another round and put it on the bottom to strengthen it, and then, you know, to sew it in. And I oftentimes will do that. I will show that to you in another tutorial when we do a basket, how I make a second round to go ahead and sew it together, so that way it makes it stronger, the base of it. So, or you could even crochet with 2 strands of the jute twine if you want a sturdier basket as well. So that is also an option. So we are completely done with that now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And now what we're going to do is we need to weave in all these tails. So I'm going to go ahead and do a jute over, pull that through, fasten off here. So now we just need like a little darning needle or crochet hook here, and you want to go ahead and just insert that through that eye of the crochet hook so we can weave in the ends, and that will help strengthen the sides as well. Okay, so to weave them in, you definitely want to go ahead and just kind of go along the way all around, and make sure that you weave in, you know, coordinating colors, the matching colors. So I'm going to weave the red into the red, of course, and we'll weave, you know, the natural ones into the natural stripes, and of course, that way it won't look funny. And the more you weave this in, the better, because it strengthens the sides as well. So I try to pretty much keep weaving it in until I run out or can't weave it in any further. Okay, so that one, I'm going to cut that. And then what you can do is you can turn it inside out while you weave these ends in. That way you can see them easier. And we have lots of them. But that's a good thing because it will help strengthen it. That's because we did so many different color transitions. But it really makes it pretty. I love the stripes. It's really cute. Okay, so now if you get a tail that's just too short and you can't weave it in any longer, what you can do, get to the next stitch, it's just not short, it's too short, it's not long enough, you can insert your needle into the stitches like this, okay? And then what you can do is you can take that tail that's just too short, feed it through the eye of that crochet needle. That's that, and then pull it. See how that works? Alright, so now we'll cut that. And this is the inside out. We turned it inside out so we can weave in these tails. Okay, so now let's weave the natural strand, of course, into the natural colored stripe here. Because this is the natural colors, beige. It has not been dyed at all, so there's no color dye on it. So that's why I'm calling it the natural color, the beige color. Okay, so we just keep weaving it down the side here. Alright, now cut that little one there. Okay, I'm going to weave the blue one into the blue, of course. So we want to match our tails to the right colors. So make sure we're weaving them into the same colors. And this strand's too short again, it wants to come out, so let me try feeding it in here. Oh, so that one's too short again, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I did before. I'm going to weave the crochet needle through. If it will let me. Okay, I'm going to weave that through the stitches. There we go. And then I'm going to insert that through that eye of the crochet needle. And then pull that right through. And then when you pull it, you know, stretch it back out a little bit so it doesn't get too tight. You know. Alright, so you just keep weaving in the tails. When I'm done weaving these in, I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and when I have them all woven in, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. And I just have one more loose end to weave in here. And I just want to show you, okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and insert that in. And I'm going to bring it to the other side because I want to show you something real quick. Alright, so now that we've woven all our tails, we're ready to turn the basket right side out again. Because remember, we turned it inside out to weave in the loose tails. So I have a little strand sticking out there, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that. Okay, so the reason why I brought this one out to the outside, I wanted to show you. So if you have one of the strands that you don't like the way the transition looks, you can kind of hide that a little bit, like right here. The rest of the transitions I think look really pretty good. The green one is sticking out just a little bit more than I'd like, so you can just like weave that over, and you can like hide that a little bit by weaving over that stripe a little bit with the beige or natural color to hide that transition if you want. Let me go ahead and pull that tail back out. The hook here. And then you just kind of weave in right over that one spot if you want to hide it. Now if your tail is too loose to do that, you can always cut another piece, of course, to weave it in. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pull that right over that green stitch a little bit. And see how that kind of hid that little spot where it stuck out a little bit further than I like? Now it looks really good. So you can always do that to fix it. I'm just going to weave that in here a little bit. And since it's too short, this is the wrong side again. I'm turning it inside out to weave it. I'm going to weave it through a few stitches, the needle. And then I'm going to insert it through the eye of the needle here. And pull that through. and then just stretch it back so it doesn't get too tight, because if you pull it really tight, then it will kind of warp the sides of it and make the shape, it will lose its shape a little bit, so you don't want to do that. Alright, so now we're ready to shape our basket and stretch it right. Make sure that the bottom base is just a natural jute, and shape it here. And there, okay, so we finished our little jute basket with the pretty different stripes, and I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I want to thank you for watching today. Have a great day.